All right, so what's going on with that big fiery crash out in Los Angeles? Well, let's find out. They had a court hearing today. Welcome to Law and Life. I'm your lawyer, Patrick McGeehan, and I am your best friend at your worst time. Nicole Linton, age 37, black female from Texas, is the defendant in this case, and we're getting our first look at her in a hearing that was held yesterday afternoon in Superior Court in Los Angeles in front of Superior Court Judge Natalie Stone, Department 30, under case number BA 507936. So what happened at this hearing? Well, if you remember, there was a press conference just before this hearing yesterday by DA George Gascon, and he announced that he was going to charge 5 counts of murder against Miss Linton, that he couldn't charge the 6th count of murder for the unborn fetus under California law. But during the hearing, the deputy district attorney, whose name I could not understand from the hearing, said that they were going to charge 6. So I don't know if it's just a mistake between the district attorney and the deputy district attorney, whether they'll charge 5 or 6. What we shall see. Immediately at the beginning of the hearing, the counsel for Miss Linton, let's identify who counsel for the defendant is. We have the partner at Wexman, Jackson, and Quinn, a fairly large Los Angeles criminal defense law firm. Lead counsel is pictured here, and I'm not even going to try to say his name. He was a former appellate court judge in the 2nd District of California and a former deputy district attorney for Los Angeles County. His associate, Ms. Speranza, was a former civil attorney for the for the county of Los Angeles, represented the county of Los Angeles in civil matters, and you could see a little bit about her bio there. Presently, Ms. Linton is being held no bail, which will give you an idea of what the ultimate outcome of the hearing was, at the Central Regional Detention Facility in Linwood, California in Los Angeles. And you'll notice that her status had changed from $9 million bail to no bail, and the no further case information is listed, and there doesn't appear to be any formal charges listed because arraignment was continued. So during this hearing, at the beginning of the hearing, the defense counsel for Miss Linton requested a continuation of the arraignment based on his investigation. He needed to conduct more investigation and get more discovery from the state of California, which means basically he doesn't know much about the case and he needs to find out more information about what the state has. The deputy district attorney in court did not object, and the judge granted that motion to continue the arraignment to October 6th before her in Department 30 at 8:30 a.m. They next took up the issue of bail. The deputy district attorney argued for no bail based on Miss Linton being a flight risk and a danger to the public, the severity of the charges, that they are charging 6 counts of murder, and in the alternative, they are charging 5 counts of vehicular manslaughter, which means if they don't get her on the murder, they're hoping to get her on the vehicular manslaughter charges. A little bit about the speed in the case. The deputy district attorney represented that it was based on a visual estimate from, I guess, the camera, 80 to 100 miles an hour. There were 5 to 8 vehicles involved. In addition to the 6 killed, there were 7 that were injured. In reference to the flight risk, the state of California argued that she was a flight risk, that she doesn't have a California driver's license. She has a Texas driver's license, doesn't know the validity of the Texas driver's license, that she has a history of vehicle collisions, the last one in 2020 that involved bodily injury, but they had no other information on the other collisions, that she had numerous out-of-state contacts, they conceded that she did have no criminal record. She had no permanent residence in the Los Angeles area or in California, and she had made statements to the investigators that she had future travel plans, and the state argued that no bail amount would be sufficient, and they had no information on financial resources. Now, defense counsel in opposition to that, argued that there's no justification to treat this case as a capital murder case. She's being charged with a level of murder that is not capital. She has no priors. The 2020 case, they have no details on. There's limited discovery provided by the state of California. During the tox screen at the arrest, there was no indication that she was under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Just because she was a travel nurse, that doesn't mean that she would flee the area, that she's been working in the Los Angeles area for the last year. She has no, that she has a sister in Los Angeles who is present in court, that the state's no bail request is motivated by the excessive media attention on the case. And here's what they brought up that was new, at least for me. The defense counsel brought up that the information they discovered so far, that this event may have been caused by a mental health issue, which is profound in nature and has been going on for years. Her history reveals that there's no propensity for violence or antisocial behavior, that she's in need of treatment outside of custody, and the family is making arrangements with several facilities to get her that treatment. The judge interjected that because it was considerable mental health issues, that she should have known better and she should have been aware of it, and that just because she has mental health issues does not mean there is not a danger to the public. The judge inquired of defense counsel about what amount of bail that Ms. Linton would be able to pay, and in response, the defense counsel said $300,000, which is well below the scheduled bail in this case. The scheduled bail in this case is in the neighborhood of $9 million, and she is facing, if she's convicted on all counts, like 90 years in state prison. So after that argument, the judge made her findings. She found by clear and convincing evidence that pretrial detention was warranted, and there is no condition sufficient to assure the public safety and the appearance of Ms. Linton in court, that house arrest was not sufficient, that she found that there is no sufficient less restrictive conditions, and that she considered her a flight risk, and that $300,000 bail would not be sufficient to guarantee her appearance on these charges. In response to that, defense counsel requested a bond review hearing, and the bond review hearing is set before Judge Stone in Department 30 on August 15th. Basically what they'll do is the level of murder that she's charged with is bondable, and she has a constitutional right to a reasonable bond. So they'll reset the bond hearing on the August 15th date. They'll re-argue the bond, and they'll continue to set bond hearings until she's finally given a bond or whatever conditions she's released on, if the judge sees fit. On the next hearing, they'll have more information. The judge will have more information by counsel on making a determination on what bond should be appropriate, but she will probably, if history is anything, at least in my experience, she probably will be able to get bond at some point in the future. So that's where the case stands. She's charged with 5 or 6 counts of murder, and then vehicular manslaughter in the alternative. No matter what, it's a big case. It's a lot of years, even if she's only convicted on a few of the charges. It's a horrendous accident. Go back, I'll put a tag up at the top here of my original video on this case from yesterday, and you could just see it's a horrendous accident. These are the types of cases I used to handle as a homicide detective. I specialized in traffic deaths and traffic accident reconstruction, and I can tell you this case is going to involve a lot of work, and it's going to be very, very detailed. And I'm sure by hiring this firm, this is a big dollar firm that her family is paying for, and they retain them very, very quickly. And I bet, they are going to pull out all the stops and investigate this case in an utmost professional way in extensive details. I look forward to seeing more information on this case come out, and I'll provide you with updates when that happens. Thanks for joining me here on The Law and Life. I'm your lawyer, Patrick McGeehan. I am your best friend at your worst time, and I'll see you next time.